Hello. Welcome to the Unstuck podcast, helping creatives pursue your passion. I am your host, Demi Harper. Welcome back to the first one in a couple months. Life gets busy, innit? I'm going to stop apologizing because that's life, innit? We've got a special episode. But before I do that, before I introduce the episode and the topic and the special guest, use the hashtag UnstuckPod and tell us anything on your mind with regards to pursuing your passion as a creative. Any feedback you might have, any comments you might have about today's episode or any previous episode, let us know, and all the details will be in the bio of today's episode. It's gonna be a special. It's been a long time coming. Yeah, I've been chasing this guy for how many? Like 2 years, 2-3 years. And you know what the funniest thing is that we're cousins. You would think it's easier to chase someone down.
Because it's family.
Because it's family, innit? But here is Demilade. We share the same name, which is funny.
Yeah.
I like to say it's my name, but he was born first, so I guess he has some claim to the name.
I have some clout.
But yeah, this is Demilade Roberts, my elder cousin, entrepreneur, photographer, content creator, hustler, Niger boy.
Yeah, so
introduce yourself.
Yeah. Thank you very much, Demilade, and to all the listeners out there, thank you for tuning in, for signing on, for subscribing, for staying linked to the Unstuck pod. My name is Demilade Roberts. I've been a photographer for 12 years back in Lagos, Nigeria, and that's my country, our country, and that's where I set up shop and foundation to building an empire. That's eventually I want to help elevate and empower a lot of content creators and creatives, to seek and hold on to their passion and ultimately make some money.
That's why we're doing what we're doing.
Yeah.
Passion is everything, but it's not everything.
Yeah.
You need money to
passion gets you there.
Hey,
but
if you do this life,
resources is what keeps you going.
Exactly. Yeah, so that's it. So if you're familiar with Demilade, he's known for a lot of the ventures that he does, and his photography is really good as well. And we're going to talk about how you got into that as well.
Yeah.
Like growing up, how did you feel about being a creative and now? And also we're going to talk about the context of being in Nigeria as well, being a creative in Nigeria, how that works. I use that term.
Yeah, how it works. It doesn't.
Exactly. So in that kind of like environment, how do you work as a creative? So I guess the first thing to do is to talk about you, right?
Yeah.
And how you started. Where did you? If there was a defining moment of, okay, this is where your journey started, what would that be?
So now, I always wonder what my first interview or what my first the first platform I'll speak on about my journey after 10 years, because for the past 12 years and the first 10 years of my career, it's always I'm always asked, how did you start? And now that I've gotten to a level where I am now, I figured that question is I've gotten tired of it in the sense that we're in a world now where everyone has realized that they are on some level a creative. So even my mom, who's a medical doctor in public health, talks about scientists being the creative of the medical field.
That's key.
Yeah. Architects are the creators and creatives of the engineering field. The engineers too. The mechanical engineers, every field of industry, every field of capacity, every field of resource development has the creative department. So, how did I start? When did I start? Why did I start? I started. Most people don't. And that's the more important question. Look, you just have to start. make a decision. You have an idea. Everybody's born with ideas. Everybody has an idea.
Ideas are trash.
Yeah, but idea is just an idea unless it comes to paper.
That's it.
And then by the time it hits paper, you've gotten a plan. But plan is just plan unless it's being presented. So that is what you now turn plan to proposal. Proposal is just proposal unless it's invested. And that is when you have created. It's not about how just starts. Just whatever idea you have, plan, propose, get invested. Or invest yourself. You know how they say pull up by the bootstraps? Is it that way? Some get lucky, they get you present your proposal to people that have funding for it and have resources and capacity. Boom. It's just one conversation. You put it down there. Some people like us, like hustlers, you have to put in the work. You invest in that proposal. You propose it back to yourself. You do everything and then you plan. And then so I tell young creative and entrepreneurs that ideas are just ideas unless they are, the whole process. And then most of the time, if not all the time, investors do not put money on something that hasn't shown results. That's where the investing in yourself after you've drawn up a proposal. Yeah. You've written your proposal. It's a good idea. It's a good plan. Execution, timeline. But have you done it? They go ask you, have you done it? No. Okay. All right. Let me know when you have. But I need you. You don't need me. Trust me. Go. Implement.
So I'm going to ask you a question based on that.
Yeah.
Right? So if you're using that kind of picture of someone saying, okay, we need to show, they need evidence that you've done something, really. So are you trying to say it's better to fail forward than to have done nothing at all?
The only way in this life that you can learn is by failing. There's no other principle. Failure only leads to knowledge. There's no other principle. So the sheer, I don't know, being afraid of failure. Yeah. The sheer fear of failure is what is limiting you from your wealth, from your destiny, from your empire, from your from whatever it is. Why are you afraid of failing? Why? I was at a house party last night somewhere in Collindale. And I spoke about them. So someone like just tapped into my, because like, oh, I know you and everything. And I always like to share about my struggle because everybody sees, Demo, you have tried, you have blown, you have this and that. No, I've not even touched the surface of where my creator has shown me I'm going to head to. So you think I've reached a certain level, I've not even reached anywhere. So I always like to share my struggles so people see look deeper into the journey and into what has motivated me. When I tell people that I spent 8 years in Unilag, they're like, I'm like, yeah, don't be saying I be Olodo or I know Sabi book. Nah. I was just a victim of circumstance and a failed system. But it wasn't so bad because it held me in a position where I found my creativity. Now, talking about failure, I tell people that I know failure. I don't hug failure. Now failure, we don't chop breakfast together. We don't sleep for the same bed. We don't fight. We don't love ourselves. We don't talk. We don't get heart to heart. Okay, you need to leave me alone. How? Failure will teach me. Only failure can teach you. Yeah. So you try it, you succeed. Woohoo! You try it, you feel more knowledge. You try it, you succeed. Woohoo! Yeah. It's always a celebration. Let's go and pop champagne. Success only leads to celebration. Yeah. Are we here to celebrate? No. You are here to put value into life. That's why when you die, they celebrate your life. You put value into this life. You've succeeded. Yeah, blah, blah, blah. 1 hour, 2 hours, a few days, take a rest, vacation, disappear, come back, recalibrate, you drink a few drinks. But you get back into the grind of the next idea, of pushing the idea forward. I can talk about how my father bought me a camera and I took a picture and he says, oh, it was nice and everything. And then this person hired me and then blah, blah, blah. I did the video, I did Whiskey, I did Burna Boy, I did this one, I did Tiwa, I've done everything. If you don't know my name, please help me and Google it. See, my work is there. There's nobody I've not photographed. I don't need to be telling the people. To inspire anybody, start. Just start. The idea is in your head. Is in your head. Just write it down. And this is the name of the idea.
And also, to add on top of that, like, I don't believe that it's about having a new idea. Because what also holds people back is that they think, oh, my idea isn't new. Yeah. Or my idea isn't good enough.
We're all thieves.
Bro, everyone's just stealing from each other. Like, I was playing the keyboard once, and the guy who taught me, shout out to Mike, he said, we talk about Michael Jackson a lot, yeah? But this guy, the stuff that you think he got all his ideas by himself. No.
I really forgot that there was a Jackson 5 and then there was a father.
There we go. So everyone starts somewhere. So if you look at Picasso, his stuff is based off African art. That guy's not original.
Wild.
That is
wild.
Cultural appropriation to the max. So if you're thinking, oh, I have this idea. It's not good enough. You're not going to do it. Don't try to do something new. You just have to do it.
Just start. Because let me tell you something here. We're all born with our ideas. So, and it came from somewhere. So don't think that your idea is original. It's not your thoughts. It was implanted there. From generations of perceptions of fathers and generations that have grown. And do you know how many forefathers before you wanted to do something that you couldn't? The idea does, as in you don't know where it's from. So don't think that because somebody else is doing it, you can do it better. You can do it. See, me, I cannot photograph 7 billion human beings. And that's how many we are on this earth. Why would I think that my idea for photography is not going to be carried out by somebody else in another sphere? So, and I like to tell creatives, this one gingers them a lot. If you think about it, every industry, every brand, every product, every company, every existing business is existing to make profit.
Yeah.
Right? Shebi, I talked about, passion, but now the money. Every existing business, every existing venture is existing to make profit. Even the NGOs, where they know the life for us. I know we talk. But you cannot get to profit without a process.
Yeah.
You need, first of all, a product or a service. Or the both. The service is the product, whatever. Product and service. Then you need to create a demand and a supply. You can't supply if there's no demand. And nobody knows about your supply. They are not demanding. So you create it with marketing. Now, product, service, marketing, demand and supply, commerce has been created with your marketing. Then you realize marketing is just pure content distribution.
Yeah.
So you need to fuel the marketing distributor with content. You have to keep implementing it. So that is where, so you cannot do marketing without content. And your content is what fuels the distribution. Which angle is it taking? Which tone? Which narrative? Which words? Which language? Which color? That's where the branding comes in. So distribution of the content is not, so there's distribution of the content, the color of the content, the production of the content. Because without content, there's no profit.
And how do you feel like in this day and age, we have, if now everyone's obsessed with TikTok, like there's always going to be a new social media platform. So for you, what has been in terms of your career and what you do, what has been your approach in terms of like keeping on top of, let's say, social media and creating content for social media, for example. And a lot of people are quite strict with it and they say, okay, you must post every day, you need to have a calendar, you have to have a way of doing things. But what is your approach when it comes to actually doing content for yourself?
So, being a content creator in 2021, I tell people that I started shooting content before Nigerians in Africa could get a Facebook account. So people like me, and then people that, of course, I'm just in my 30s, they are veterans in content production in Nigeria in their 50s. So when New Age wants to tell me about post every day and everything, blah, blah, like that works, but is on a very large scale, a very, very small cog to content distribution. Social media is useful.
Yeah.
It's not the backbone. It's not the brains.
Yeah.
It's a platform of an empire. If you understand the empire of content distribution and production, that's when you can understand, that's when you can now explore your mind to where you can plug yourself in, whether you own, because social media is a platform.
Yeah.
Platform is not even the decking of a building.
Yeah.
You know, so, and each cell in that platform of social media, like the followers, the influencers, the big followership accounts are cells.
Yeah.
So useful. But I don't spend time trying to fit into that when, for example, like I don't want to be an influencer, I want to pay influencers.
Yeah.
So I'm on that level of content creating. I've had so many. I've had 2 occasions my cameras have been literally ripped out of my from me, and I kept asking God, you know, because I got that follow. Say, God, what's the reason? And he keeps saying, look, you need to see yourself as more than your cameras. I have now produced more images without even using one camera, without even taking one click with my finger. That's when I started exploring the director of photography angle as opposed to just being a hired service.
Yeah.
So again, a lot of content creators are trying to get their content to be viral. Useful. But there's more. There's always more.
Yeah.
So it's about where you want to plug yourself in and on what skill you want to be in that distributor cog.
Yeah.
And how much of the company's, the product or the services profits do you want to bring in with your content?
You know, that's really key, because one thing I realized, so I was, for some of the people that have, if you're new to this podcast, this is the first time you're hearing it, but I've spoken about like my background in design and how I was basically trained to be employed, in school, university, where they train you to be unemployed, someone that's an employee. So I was doing just freelance websites, freelance logos, freelance flyers, freelance everything. I was like, okay, this is stress, you know. This is stress. So I almost had a mental breakdown because of one website. I was sitting in the living room on the floor like this.
I know how you feel, man.
And I was just like, bruv, why am I doing this? Why the hell am I doing this? But you're good at it. So you're like, you should be doing it. But then, after, because I like to like absorb, like I absorb content like crazy, like everyone else, but like this kind of business kind of stuff. I love to listen to entrepreneurship stuff, and I can't remember who I learned it from, who I heard it from, but I saw a pattern of, okay, I realized, although I love doing design, the money is not in the doing of the design.
God bless you.
And that's why I started doing branding, because it's like, I can make a logo for you. I can make a website for you. I can do all that. But I said, the metaphor I use is like, okay, I have a sniper rifle.
You created my first company logo.
I made this guy's first logo.
That's true.
See what I mean? But it's like when someone comes to ask me for a logo, I'm like, why? Why do you want a logo? Because if I give you the analogy of, I have a rocket launcher. It has loads of buttons on it, and I give you this rocket launcher, you blow yourself up. You're not going to be able to use it properly.
Yeah.
So it's the same way, like whatever service that we're providing or product that we're providing, it's better to be the one that is creating those jobs than to be the one that's actually doing the work. Yeah. That's where the money is. The money is actually in creating the opportunities for other people to do the work for you. Yeah.
Well, technically not just for you, because we're not at capitalism. I'm not trying to be slave masters again, but you just said something that actually just expanded my mind as to the same way I was feeling with photography, like you're feeling with design. Like, for instance, I remember telling somebody that, do you know that it takes an average of 13 hours for a photographer to fully edit and retouch an image to the satisfaction to which he wants to creatively put it out, which is, we're talking about magazine cover level of post-production and the jaw drops. Every time I say this, people's jaw drops. Between 8 to 12, 14 hours per image.
And they have to do hundreds for
and then you people will take pictures one day and then in 2 days they are saying, where's my picture? Where's this one? And then they were doing, and now I'm even talking back home. Because over here in England and in the Western world, they understand this. Clients understand this. If there's contract, there's lawyer, there's everything. But back home, it's a jungle. Big jungle. Now, I'll spend hours putting these images together, editing. And then I send it to you. And that's another thing about social media that people overlook. I send you an image I spent so much time processing. And then you put it on your page, you throw a filter on it, and then you post it. And then
that's painful.
Or they don't put a filter on it. They post it because they appreciate the work you put in there. But then people like it, people comment, and that's the end of the image. It's just there on somebody's page, and the day they posted it was the day it got the traction. So social media, for some reason, on some level, has limited a lot of creatives because they've used it as a traction limit to how far their work can go.
Interesting.
Now let me tell you this. This was where I want to speak about the last 2 weddings that I ever shot. I shot one, I said I was done. I shot 2 years later, I shot my friends on, like my very good friend, and then the way the guests, and then something happened again. I was like, you know what, that's it. So you take a picture. I'm talking about the image is just done, and a lot of creatives just use social media to measure the traction. Now, this wedding, the very last wedding I shot before the penultimate one, I shot this wedding, very, very small, about 300 guest wedding somewhere in Lekki. And then wedding was on Saturday. I am editing on Sunday because I want to send the bride and groom images so that they can post within the trending time, which is something that I found very, very annoying because I for someone like me, I've been shooting weddings before Facebook. You shoot a wedding, you have about 2 to 3 months of post-production time, creative space and direction to do what you want to do and present it, because there's no hurry to put the images on any platform.
Yeah.
But now here comes social media. We snap bride's portrait in the morning. She wants to post it by reception time.
My God.
Yeah. So you're taking pictures, you're taking memory card, you're giving another girl, you're taking to the computer, is editing, blah, 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 and then it's sending back to you. And then, there's just so much demand for such a little platform. Now, I'm editing the images on Sunday, and then one of the guests, guests of the wedding are in my DMs on Instagram. Please, can you send my picture? I'm like, yes. I try to always be nice, even though it's like, guys, no, stop stressing me out. Can I just focus on the images and like everybody just leave me alone? But okay, let me share. And then it was one guy that sensed that like that. The guy was like, oh, that for my picture, and I said, I haven't gotten to the part because he came late to the wedding. So I was like, oh, your own pictures are like after 6 p.m. So I'm still at the church and the reception. Everyone goes, okay. I bet try for me, Sha, because after tomorrow, there will be no need for the picture again, which is tomorrow, Monday. Meaning, if you post this picture of that wedding, if you post this picture of that wedding on Saturday after Monday, it will not get the desired
They get
likes.
the traction and all. Yeah,
it won't be part of the traction of the trend, so that he push his own image forward, so that him too can trend. And that's just the mindset now. And I was like, is this one insane? I spent 18 hours covering these memories, and you say after 3 days from the day that after the second day from the day that I took the picture, it will have no use. Wrong now. So if that's the mentality of our hard work and our property, no, that's one that's one reason why I was like, you know what, I'm not doing this events for social media photography. I'm not covering events on I'm not doing this. I'm done.
Yeah.
2 years before that, this wedding I was covering. Now this is the direct opposite of this small wedding I feel that I shot in like 2019 or so. I shot this wedding in 2018. And this was the wedding that I got into my car when I was done, and I wept in my car. Like I was like, I'm not doing this again. Massive wedding, typical routine. You get up at 5, get to the bride's house between 6 and 7, and then you start work. You get to the groom's house, you start work. So we were there all day. Wedding reception was it was a traditional wedding, a landmark, and they usually use the entire landmark hall. Decor was elaborate, things dripping down, everything. And this was one of those clients that they had demanded for. We want drones in that thing, blah, blah, blah. And I was trying to give them the technicalities of flying drones inside landmark hall, especially the drone I was using. The landmark halls are built with reinforced steel and metal because it is by the beach. So they can't, they're not going to compromise on the structure. It must stand. And those materials block GPS. So unless they have GPS extenders inside the building of the structure, which they don't need, it's not a military hub, those drones would lose connections, which was what I predicted. We want the drones. And then a whole landmark event center, and then the landmark hotel. There's the beach, and then there's the hotel. So couple are going to get and change, and they're going to change 3 times. So we're leaving event hall to changing back to event hall, blah, blah, blah. And then there's all that hard work. And then they now don't serve us photographers food. My boys are hungry. I say, go and meet the caterers, they'll give us food. And it's a massive event. There are like 4 different caterers. Each of them have counted how many they want to give and how many they want to save. And they know for this family, no for this family, no for this. And then we just want to eat and carry on with the work.
Shipping.
My boys got tired, and so I shall eventually organize food for a few of them. Sent some other ones to go and buy food outside. So I don't need to be doing that when I'm supposed to be focusing on the work at hand. Yeah. So of course the boys are tired and everything, and by 8 p.m. I fainted. I literally dropped under the stage. The couple had gone to go and do the prayers and everything, and the party was supposed to simmer from band into DJ after party. Yeah. I fainted. But one of my aunties that was a guest at the party that saw me, I said, Demilade, after I go home, you can't kill yourself. Called my wife, she picked me up. I sat inside my can. I just wept. I was like, I'm done. I'm done. I can give you so many stories. I've been slapped on the back for blocking somebody at a wedding. And event planners know me. The top event planners, they know me. Top guests, they know me. Don't get in Demilade's way when he's shooting. I will chop your head off. I don't care who you are. I only answer to the person that put the amount, the credit alert in my account. Every other person is not my concern. I'm not there to satisfy you. I'm not there to cater for your guests. I'm there to observe and capture moments. Don't get in my way. And don't think that I'm blocking your vision when I'm being paid to literally block your vision.
With your giant iPads.
I'm only going to be there for a second. Let me not capture my moment and disappear. Don't come and slap me on the back. Photographers, you go through a lot. At 8 p.m., I fainted. I went out, I was like, I'm done.
Mm-hmm.
I am done. The couple, I'll be the bride. When I sent them images after like 2 weeks, of course, they wanted to post. So I was like, I'm posting. I'm sending them images. As I'm editing, I'm sending them. Yeah, of course, this is good. This is look. Can we not get everything? Look. They're always making demands because they've paid for a service. They forget that that's all they paid for.
Yeah.
A service. The service which is show up on the wedding day and take pictures. They don't agree to our time frame. They don't agree to the budget we present. They don't agree to the number of men we need to cover. They don't agree to all of those things. Always asking for discount, family and friends price, even though we don't even know them from
exactly.
Jack. But we still do the work because from our hearts we love to spread these images because it brings happiness and love, and it reminds people of colors and everything. They also want to just bright. They want to just look and see themselves in a good image. It's all psychological and emotional and ultimately spiritual. But the insults, the demands, and they think they have an authority. And this is one thing I tell people, that in the creative industry, the customer is not always right.
No, they're not.
98% of the time, they don't even know what the hell they want.
They don't.
So how can they be right? So I don't operate with that policy in my own business. No, how can the customer be right? What do they know about content production? You are a brand analyst. Analyze. Don't direct. I am the director, alpha and omega of this set. Don't come and tell me how I should shoot it.
Exactly.
When I should shoot it. When I should edit it. How long it should take me. Why? Because they're giving me money. And the bad thing is that most of us content creators, we just keep saying yes, sir, no, sir, 3 bags full, sir, because we have bills to pay. You think if we didn't have our own content creating budget and our own account, we'd be collecting money from you people?
Yeah.
Making demands. Threatening to put me in jail because the album wasn't coming out earlier enough. I said, look, yeah.
Wait, don't just gloss over that one. How do you end up from being the photographer to someone threatening to put you in jail? How does that work?
It's just entitlement. Like I said, a lot of people think because they paid you that they've employed you. And they think because they paid you, they can direct you on how to work. They can direct your creative process. They can direct your logistics. They can demand that you do a particular work at the time they want it to be done. No, you are insane. You're not a client. And that's not how it works. That's why I tell content creators, rule number 1, you want to create something, the first person you should call is a lawyer.
Yeah.
Call first person that you should call. You want to start a business, call a lawyer. First, lawyer, this is how I want to do this thing. This is why I want to do this thing. This is how much I want to be collecting. This is who I want to be doing it for. Let's state your terms to the lawyer, your policies to the lawyer. He puts it on paper. So when they come calling for your product or your service, you hand them.
There we go.
Your terms and your conditions.
And they sign off on it.
And they sign off and they are at peace to operate at your capacity and your resource level. But you see, Nigerians always demand professionalism when they don't even know how to be professional clients or customers themselves.
It goes both ways, doesn't it?
It goes both ways because we try to push these contracts on them. Let's just do this. Let's just do this now. They're waiting me all this. What's all this? Your formality. When projects spoil now. This photographer is unreliable. Your daddy is unreliable. Your entire business, your whole board of directors are unreliable. What do you think? What do you think we do here? You think photography is play? You think content creating is play? You think creativity is play? The industry is not well equipped. So there's so much bureaucracy from idea, which is founder of company, to plan, which is managerial and directors team and board of directors, to proposal, which are the line managers and whatnot and the managerial level of the company, to marketing, which are the brands and the distributors. And then it's now us creatives that they get paid the peanuts. And they want to direct us how to do it. All of them with their bureaucracy and all their tie and their suit and all their years of knowledge and study and blah, blah, blah. They think that they know more than the creatives because they're the ones that are actually handling the money. Keep your money in your back pocket now. We actually do not need it.
Exactly.
That's why I tell connectivity, start. Stop waiting to be hired. Stop waiting to be seen. Stop waiting for something to go viral. Which is why in the content age now, if you're not owning the production, you are owning the platform. If you're not owning the platform, you are the content. Actor, singer. You are producing the content. You are the content. You are the platform to which the content is being watched. You are sponsoring the content or funding the content. Or the babanlas. You are the fuel in which the content is being consumed. That's data. Those are the 5 pillars of the creative industry. Pick one and plug yourself in. Stop waiting to be hired by people not in our industry. Look at Hollywood now. Do you think Hollywood relies on a bank loan? Or the stock exchange? Up or down, they will produce, they will make money.
Of course.
Apple Music, do you think they care about stocks? They own the platform. Spotify, they own the platform.
Create the platform.
YouTube video, they consign Brexit or the world can go to blazes, but the world, human beings, we have realized 4 or 5 years ago when everybody literally had. Now I say I'm an African man. I know what we see in our in our terrain in Nigeria. When I'm seeing gate men, so-called Megad, they are now, of course, we're not calling security and everything because we're not like to respect them. But those guys are educating themselves from their phone.
Yeah.
So if there was an agenda to not educate our generations of young people coming up because they will not invest in our schools or anything, it's cool. It's not cool, but human beings always want to learn.
Yeah.
And they're watching Facebook. They're on Facebook Watch. They're YouTube. They're checking Google. They cannot spell. They'll call their friend. In the corner, there's take picture and what is this? There's speak to the Google and it can tell you. They are understanding their surroundings, the world. I didn't realize 4 or 5 years ago until I looked at the one thing human beings consume the most, more than oxygen and food, is content. From the sheer fact that the moment you wake up in your bedroom and you open your eye, you are consuming content. The moment you are conscious, you can hear, you can smell, you are consuming content. You want to bath and wear clothes, you want to be content. It's all around us. We just digitize it with phones and iPads and computers. Streaming, but it's all around us.
Yeah, and it's always been. It's not. It just
exactly.
It just takes different shapes.
It just
that's
takes
all.
different. My brother, you are a wise man.
Come on, man. I know what I'm doing. That's why I say I'm the brand strategist. I know this stuff, innit? You know what I'm saying?
It just takes different forms.
I was giving a talk at church once, and they were talking about social media, and you know how the older generation, especially when it comes to like church and all that kind of stuff. There's quite a lot of people that they're getting better, but are like, social media, I don't know if I want to do social media. So I gave a presentation I had on these pictures. I said, okay, you guys are worried about social media, yeah? When you're on the train, you're like, no one's connecting. No one's talking to each other. They're just looking at their phones. But in your time, everyone was looking at newspapers on the trains and on the buses. That was also content.
God bless you.
Before that, even Shakespeare, no content. where people this sounds so bad. Where people were being those in England where they put their head inside this wood thing and people throw tomatoes at them. That's content.
Yeah.
So content has always existed. It just takes different forms. Even going back to hieroglyphics, that's content. It just takes different forms. So it's up to us to be like, okay, what form is it taking now? And who is absorbing that content? Because last year, I didn't know. I was like, I'm not a teenager. I don't care about TikTok. I have TikTok on my smart TV. I installed it yesterday. It just takes different forms. So it's up to us to be like, okay, who is absorbing it in that form? And can I connect with that person?
Mm-hmm.
That's what I'm about anyway. How can you connect to that person and not be a dinosaur? And if you're not going to do that, what is the alternative? So if you're not going to say, oh, I don't care about social media, okay, what's the alternative? How are you making a connection?
Wow. So that's how you're making a connection. Like I said about social media being a platform with different cells. But if you're not going to say, if you're going to be part of the social media is not important, or you don't care about social media brigade, okay. But how are you moving with the times? Because content is being distributed. Everybody has realized that you can't do anything without content written. Mm-hmm. That's why I said I want to be a creative, call a lawyer, because their own content too is equally as important.
Exactly.
The written content of your policies and your terms. Now, which now brings me to this story of a photographer that deleted the wedding pictures because they didn't feed him. And there's a whole debate about it. And on the first day when it blew up, I was livid at first, but now it's just laughable because I was like, you know what? There's a lot of ignorant people out there. Course. And I'll say it again. If you are angry about a photographer deleting wedding pictures because they didn't feed him, I tell you, I forgive you. Just from a place of ignorance. Yeah. Someone said, I didn't even know the backstory about it. I'm a photographer in that field. I don't need to know the backstory to understand why he would delete somebody's wedding pictures because they didn't feed him. I only now realized I was living on the day, and I found out 2 days after that it was actually a favor to the people.
It was a favor?
Yeah.
Why are we talking? Why is this debate?
I find this a very good learning curve for everybody, for photographer and for clients. That lawyer and contracts are the two most important things you need if you're ever going to create anything. Lawyer, contract. You can't without those two. Just faffing around.
They could just say, "I'm not paying you," and you have nothing to say. You just be poor. You just all that time you spent doing the work, pointless.
So of course I had a conversation. I've had conversations with this, and everybody makes, like, from a client point of view, from a business point of view, from a wise point of view, they've all made valid points. But again, we don't care because it's from a place of ignorance. Somebody said that how will he delete the wedding pictures? The wedding just in one day. The wedding pictures. They say, you people think he deleted their wedding pictures.
They're not. It's not theirs.
Whose wedding pictures? Are you people insane?
He took the pictures himself. They belong to him.
He took the picture. This is property. Always will be, because when you hire a photographer, you're paying for a service. Like I said earlier, the service is show up and take the pictures. What he created on that day, the memories he captured on that day, the images, the visualizations, that's metadata. That soft copy, those images belong to him. Belongs to the photographer. He has veto power of what they are supposed to be used for, unless contract states otherwise. And you as client, you need to understand that if you want to have control over those images, state it in the contract. Which the photographer can give you an extra fee for that. Exactly. Licensing of the rights of the images. Shared license of the rights to the content produced at your wedding, at your events, at your party, at your sets. Contracts is what determines who owns what, who can use what, who can distribute what, who can deliver what, when and how, in what form, and how many. It's not by phone call and text and saying, just do this family price.
Bro, when I found out, like, one of my greatest learnings was learning that a contract protects you and it protects the clients. And without those terms, without them agreeing to those terms, it just becomes lawless. And when it comes to, like, for me, like, someone comes and says, I want a logo, I'm just like, this is why most people can't afford a logo. Because they're like, I can go on Fiverr. I'm always going to rip Fiverr. For the rest of my life, I'm going to rip Fiverr. Yeah. I don't care if you make money for it or if you used it yourself. I don't care. I don't like Fiverr. I'll probably use it for other things, but I know what I'm paying for.
Yeah.
Most people don't know what they're paying for. So they're like, okay, I want a logo from you. Okay, I'm going to charge so-and-so XXXX. People will charge 5 figures for a logo. And just the logo, right? They're like, oh, it's way too expensive. I could just go on Fiverr. Then they go on Fiverr and they get crap, yeah? But what's the thing is that you're also paying when you get... What's in reality what you're paying for with just the logo, you're also paying for the right to use that logo. Yeah. You have full usage rights or you have partial usage rights. Yeah. And it can be like, okay, this logo can only appear on marketing collateral, but it can't appear on t-shirts. It can't appear on TV. You have to pay more for that because that's more usage rights. But most designers won't even think of that. They'll just say, okay, here's your logo, here's everything, blah, blah, blah. But it's like, no. There's an extra fee because what you're doing, you're handing off your creative, what's it called? The ownership of what you've created. Yeah. And that costs something. Yeah. You know, it has value. Otherwise people will not be paying you for doing it. So you need to charge people for if you're doing photography as well. Because I've seen this thing on Twitter, people talking about, who owns the photographs, and people are like, oh no, it's the client. I'm like, no, it's not.
It can never be the clients. It can unless they're paying for the license
rights and license for it.
So for me, it's even 3 levels. There's payment for license to use, and there's acquisition of rights. For me, in my own photography, you hear a lot of people say, Demilade, we can't afford you. Yes, don't afford me. I'm glad you can now, all of you now can now realize that. And now that I've learned over the years, I'm like, I'm actually never going to actually give anybody the acquisition rights to any image I create for them. Because I want it to be making me money 10 to 20 years from now. Yeah. So you as a wedding couple, you've paid photographer for a service. And when a photographer gives you a bill, you keep asking for discounts. Not realizing that he gives you that bill because he's also counting the days after your wedding. Yeah. For post-production.
Unbilled hours.
On the unbilled hours is going to take, the sleepless nights is going to use, the petrol is going to use to drop, because back at home, we still do things buy over the counter, our printing of our photo books and everything. The logistics of moving all that around, memory space on our drives. You have to pay for all of that, but you don't want to. But we don't bill it for you. So you keep asking for discount, and then the day after the wedding, you now start making demands for days you didn't pay for. The service is over. We've rendered the service. You then have to wait. Yeah. Since you kept on asking for discounts and you kept asking, we removed that for you as say, okay, look, let's just do this work for you. But you think the service is over. You think, you still have rights to ask for more services after we've come to the day and we shot. You will get your images. But do not think you can make demands unless a contract states otherwise. And that's something just popped up in my head, like, about NFTs. Yeah. Yeah. And people don't really understand NFTs because it's fairly new. It's called non-fungible tokens, right? Non-fungible tokens. For those that don't know what an NFT is, it's called a non-fungible token, right? And it's basically, how when you go to the art gallery and then it's like, okay, I can buy this artwork, and you're going to put, you own this thing, and it's gaining value over time. So this is like, it has a kind of digital, nearly knocked my mic over there. It has a digital imprint. So let's say there's a picture of Demilade and I take a picture and I put it online. We're like, yo, what's up?
one of us has the full ownership to that picture, but then we can put that up for auction or whatever it is, and someone can buy the ownership of that picture.
Yeah.
The value is, you can copy and paste. It still exists. You can take a screenshot of your thing.
Yeah.
But is it the real thing?
Yeah.
No. So if you buy the real thing, you can now say, this is the original and I have full ownership of that.
Yeah.
And that is gaining value. So in the same way, like our creativity, whatever we create, whatever you design, whatever you paint, whatever you picture you take, take whatever videos you do, you are the creator. And as the creator, you have full rights to that. And then you are basically licensing the usage of that, if that makes sense. If that broke it down for people.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So, someone has said that, but well, exactly. So you now answer the question of why would he delete somebody's pictures? I'm like, no, that man deleted his hard work.
Yeah.
You must understand where the frustration was coming from. You should, not that you must, you should understand where it's coming from and why he knows he had the rights to do that. Was it kind? Of course not. Was it foolish? Of course, yes. But there's only a limit someone can go as a creative to the demands. And then you now do not appreciate what's put into, come on, it's a plate of rice.
For a plate like this, when I heard it, I was just like, are you bloody serious? Are we really arguing?
And there's an argument?
Yeah, why is it a debate? Someone wants food, they're doing hard work. Just a plate of rice. It just shows how I'll use the term wicked you are. Not to give someone a plate of rice, even if someone's hungry, feed them. Just as a basic, basic humanity. If someone is hungry or thirsty, give them food to eat, water to drink. A photographer that's spending the whole day from early hours,
16 plus hours,
or whatever. You were talking about how you fainted. This person is doing great work. You will not give them a plate of rice. What? A plate of rice.
But the band will eat.
The band will eat,
Yeah, the music will eat. So I like to tell let me even now close with this scenario of because as creatives, you need to know your worth. You need to know your worth. You need to know what your content you're creating is also worth. I told somebody that, look, that man, the reason why I'm making him a director in my own company is one, that man understands protecting his property.
Yeah.
And he understands the worth of his creativity over client satisfaction. If you understand the worth of your products and how far your service can go, you will not take bastardization to what it is. Yeah. Yeah, this whole cancel culture, they'll call you out, they'll mention you, they'll do this, blah, blah, blah. Look, there's still no such thing as bad publicity. Because people will still check you out. But the guy is good now. I like this guy, Jerry. He knows what is. You will still have your clientele. And the ultimate goal is your content on its own is making you money. Not your clients.
Yeah, exactly.
Not the bookings, not the hiring. I always tell, because over the past 12 years, my biggest clientele has been weddings and events. And when couples book me or couples parents book me, I warn them from the beginning, say, look, you people, I'm not here for your guests. I'm here for you people. I'm here for your memories, and I'm here to get a job done, not to satisfy anybody. A job done, done. Because if I focus on the job well done, you will be satisfied. I don't really care about your timeline or your deadline or when you want it or how you want it done. I trust my creativity. You know nothing about it. And there's a reason why you called me, because you know nothing about it. So customer, cool down. You're not right. Let me deliver. I was shooting this wedding. And of course, the most harrowing part of wedding photography is after church group picture. After church group pictures. As when every guest that is going to be at the party till the night wants to greet the celebrants. Why? Go to the reception and sit down eat, drink, be merry. You're going to dance with them. They're going to see. It's protocol. The couple have to go round the event hall and greet every table. It's protocol at weddings. Why do you not want to rush them? Oh, I understand. They have to go to another event. So let them come and just show hello, show face, blah, blah, blah. Now you have just given yourself up. Coming to greet them very early at the event. You want to run away. So why did you ask them for invites? Why did you... So, and that's where Nigerian events just gets over the top. You want to accommodate every people that do not actually want to be there, that do not actually care about you, that just want to just be in a society gathering. They don't really care about you, the celebrant. So, after church, wedding pictures, group pictures. I'm calling, and that's where my voice is always the loudest. I'm always yelling and shouting and screeching. I'm just like, bride's family, be on standby. Groom's family up next. If you're not in the group, if you have not called your group, stand by. This is not the time to greet the couple. This is not the time to greet the bride parent. This is not the time. Excuse me, sir. Step back. You're blocking the professional photo. I'm yelling and wailing and shouting, commanding like a general. I don't care who you are, whether your agbada is 3 times bigger than my own or whether you're 70 years old. You are out of line at this time. This is my show now. This is my show. This is my set. Do not step into the front of the... I yell. They know me. You can't get this, guest of honor, big guy, big coral beads, gold, everything, blah, blah. After I finish putting one group together, bride's family, groom's family, everybody's together and everything. No, I think it was bride's family picture. Bride's parents, cousins, siblings, blah, blah, blah. And then one big uncle now marched to the front of in front of where the professional photographers are standing. Wanted to go and greet the bride's father. Hey, do not block the professional photographer. Excuse me, sir. This is not the time to greet the parents. And the man wanted to look at me over his shoulder like, who is this photographer addressing him? I looked the guy in the eye. My clients knew that if he doesn't intervene now, this Demilade that he knows is going to go off. He just said, I beg, please, listen to him. He's a professional photographer. And just step back for now. The image I want to take is more important than the activity you want to have at that event. As a guest, I don't care. Is it that you are being a moment I'm supposed to capture or you're interfering with my production? My friend, get out. Bride and groom's first dance. I told the MC, please tell the guests they should give the bride and groom till the end of the song. Yeah. Before they venture to come and start putting money on the bride's makeup. It's a show. It's just vanity. You want the whole party to see you spraying them money. My friends, sit down. If you're going to put it in an envelope and give it to them, is it really from your heart? Spray if you want to spray, but know when. Yeah. There's band. There's dance. There's jaye. Do it there. Or put it in an envelope and send it to them with the usher. Or, go and greet them like a gentleman or a lady. They don't come doing the couple's first dance when it's supposed to be a moment for them to those. People don't realize that. Yes, it's their wedding day, but they hardly spend time together. Wow. So
that's something I never really thought about.
Yeah, it's their wedding day, but they hardly spend time together. They hardly breathe. They hardly look at each other. They hardly do it. It's all about the event and the guests and everything, blah, 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 and they are literally the entertainment, not the celebrants. And that's and most weddings, it's just a little that it just tips over. The couple are the entertainment. You now turn them to puppets and the actors and actresses. Wow. They can't remember every emotion that they went through because it's just a jamboree. So as a photographer and a content creator, you have to understand all these things and protect the process. Yeah. Because those images is the only thing they're going to hold on to. That's why we feel and we let you think that yes, it's very important. The pictures are very important. We understand we understand our hard work. We love what we're doing. That property belongs to us. We love the property, but don't mistreat us now. We need to we run, we jump, we roll, we crawl, we squat, we stand. We're carrying equipment that is 13 kg upwards. You're not saying that that's our workplace. We should not eat. That is unprofessional to eat. Unprofessional. I be human. I be engines. We don't go to filling station in the morning and drink petrol. Fill up, don't worry. You will last 3 days. Breakfast, lunch, dinner, tea, high tea. We're sustenance.
That's it.
So yeah, man. Content creators, lawyer, contract. Protect your content, protect your crafts, and focus on a job well done. Satisfaction always comes after.
Yeah.
Don't seek for satisfaction first. Don't satisfy your clients before you get the job done. We can do it. No.
Bro, there's so much to cover. I feel like every time you're in town, we need to do this.
Yeah, don't worry, I'm around for a while. We'll talk more. Let's talk more, man. Let's talk more.
It's all right, we'll chop it up. It's cool.
There's no reason why we shouldn't shoot 5 episodes.
Make a series, Demi and Demi. Cool. What I normally do is I would, at the end of each episode, I totally forgot I do this until just now. I do a thing called Tip of the Day, which is the one thing you could tell the listeners to take away with them, something practical that they could take away to move them forward in their creative career or whatever they're pursuing. I'll give you a moment to think about that. And you got yours already?
Yeah, I do.
Okay, shoot then.
Tip of the day, don't let the idea linger in your head too much. Put it on paper. Just put it on paper. Write the name of the idea and write the next step. Even if it takes you a week, a month, 6 months to a year. Most executive producers, most platforms, wherein their co-founders, most billionaires didn't make that shift to a new, in terms of the entertainment industry, until after their 40s. You know, your 20s is your formative years. It's not the real years. Your 30s are your structural years, going to like normal timeline. So don't think that you're wasting too much time, but don't waste too much time before you start. Just start. Idea, put it on paper, write it down, and then keep inspiring yourself. You need to get to the point where you have produced results off your idea. Once you have results, you have investment, because you have shown investment in your own idea. So once you get to the results, you will have investment. That's just it.
That's brilliant. Yeah. So that's Demilade's tip of the day, is just start. It's funny enough, because my tip of the day was going to be at the end of it, is don't stop.
Yeah.
Because for me, running a podcast and a YouTube channel, I know that when I stop is when it stops.
Yeah.
And you don't know what could happen if you keep going. So my tip of the day is actually not to stop. Try your best not to break the pattern. And if you do have to break the pattern, start again. Just start.
Like, don't stop.
Because if it's like going to the gym, right? I'm the sort of person, I'm not going to pretend like I enjoy going to the gym. I hate going to the gym, but I do it, because I see the benefits of it. It's when I stop, is when I break the pattern. It takes me like 2-3 weeks to get back on it, and I'm fat again. So don't stop as much as possible, please. That podcast, that YouTube channel, that's networking, whatever it is.
That NFT. That book club.
Bro.
Yeah.
Sis.
That art piece you want to put together, just don't go and buy the brush. Use your chisel and your hammer. Just break the first part of the stone. Just start. And then keep going. And then just keep going.
Keep going. And then you'll be able to look back on it and be like, I actually started. 3 years later, 4 years later.
Yeah. You tell yourself after 5 years, like, I actually started,
yeah.
And then one day you're like, I actually did it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's it. Hashtag Unstuck Podcast. How can we find you online? Plug yourself.
Instagram, Twitter, Snapchat, TikTok, Demilade R.
Demilade R. And I am _Demi Harper. Hope you've enjoyed this special episode with the two Demis.
Yeah, with the two
There
Demis.
will definitely be more. Use the hashtag Unstuck Podcast. Unstuck Pod. Unstuck podcast. It's
Unstuck
hashtag Unstuck pod. I can't remember which one it is. I'll put it in the link in the bio. This is what happens when you stop, yeah? You forget everything.
Protocol.
Yeah, let me know what you guys think about it. Message either of us and engage with us and share this, subscribe and leave a review if you loved it. And yeah, that's about it. Subscribe if you're on YouTube too. And yeah, thanks for coming.
Thanks for having me, bro.
All right. Thanks for listening, guys. Catch you later. Bye.